Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Xbox On. In this video, we're going to take you back through the biggest releases of the month, plus all the new titles that arrived on Xbox Game Pass and Games with Gold. So if you're looking for something new to play, you're in the right place. It's been a great month for shooter fans. It all kicked off on the 3rd of March with the arrival of Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary on PC as part of the Master Chief Collection. This is a stunning remaster of the very first Halo game, bringing it bang up to date so you can play it at 4K 60 FPS or even higher if your machine's up to it. You can even switch between the revamped and original graphics at the flick of a button, something we had great fun with on our stream.
Old Halo, new Halo. Old Halo, new Halo.
It's one of the greatest shooter campaigns of all time. If the words Silent Cartographer and 343 Guilty Spark don't mean anything to you, well, you're in for a real treat. And if just hearing those phrases sent you to your happy place, well, you've probably played this gorgeous remaster already, but if you haven't, what are you waiting for? Then on the 20th, there was the return of another absolute classic series starring another green helmeted space marine who's handy with a shotgun. Yep, we're of course talking about Doomsday, when one of the oldest shooter series around came ripping and tearing back into our lives with the release of Doom Eternal. If you're in the mood for an intense first-person shooter experience, this is the game for you. From the relentless pace of combat to the pounding soundtrack and some of the meatiest guns in the business, Doom Eternal has got you fully covered. As well as a chunky campaign, there's the all-new multiplayer battle mode, where 2 players get to slip into the scaly skin of Doom's Hellspawn and try to take down a single Slayer. And that's not all. The same day also blessed us with the arrival of Doom 64, a slice of retro joy available at a low price. Over on the Xbox On Mixer channel, we celebrated the double launch with a hellishly good giveaway. One lucky viewer won the collector's edition of Doom Eternal, complete with a life-size replica of the Doomslayer's helmet, which, if I must say so, I think I modeled brilliantly. And if you want the chance to win this kind of cool gaming swag for yourself, make sure to check us out on Mixer, where we're streaming every weekday afternoon with great games and regular giveaways for viewers. And it wasn't just returning classics this month. The 24th of March saw the arrival of Bleeding Edge, a brand new multiplayer game that's actually a bit difficult to explain. It's part action game in the stylish style of Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry game. It's part hero shooter with a cast of colourful characters to choose from, and it's part, well, whatever the term is for games where you play as a robotic snake controlling a voodoo zombie, defending a control point from the dolphin-controlled mech. You know, one of those games. You might struggle to stick a genre label on Bleeding Edge, but it won't take long for you to figure out the thing that's most important. It's a bleeding good time. As we found out for ourselves when Charleyy, myself, and Henry took part in the Bleeding Edge Rumble and learned a bit about the importance of teamwork and mastering your character of choice. Which I think my team did brilliantly, especially after Henry's trash talk on Twitter. There were also plenty of other great games in March, like the Lovecraft in space cosmic horror of Moons of Madness, or sneaking in at the very end of the month, The Complex, an interactive sci-fi thriller with an all-star cast and crew that includes talent from The Handmaid's Tale, Game of Thrones, and our old friend Leah, so keep your eyes peeled for a familiar face. But if we are talking about the biggest releases of the month, we've got to end on Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This sequel has been 5 years in the making, and it shows in pretty much every aspect of the game, like the improved combat and platforming, which is even slicker than before, or the absolutely enormous map, which you'll want to explore every nook and cranny of. Or just the visuals. The original Ori was one of the most beautiful games we've ever seen, with hand-drawn art that made it look like a playable version of Spirited Away. This one is somehow even more beautiful. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but in this case, well, there simply aren't enough words to do it justice. Just look.
The situation feels better for you now. But feeling safe doesn't mean you are safe.
Now, let's move on from new releases and onto those updates to the games we just can't stop playing. Although, when it comes to the biggest one of the month, is it technically an update or a brand new game. Call of Duty Warzone dropped from the cargo plane overhead and parachuted onto our Xboxes on the 10th of March, which, given it was announced just one day earlier, was a pretty huge surprise, especially because you don't need a copy of Modern Warfare or any other COD game to play it. This is a standalone, free-to-download game that's available to play for anyone with an Xbox Live Gold membership, and it's got two massive modes to dive into. There's Battle Royale, which probably doesn't need much explanation by this point, except to say it expands the number of players on its island to 150. And if you die, you get a chance to redeploy by playing a one-on-one gunfight match in the Gulag. And then there's Plunder, which is a race to earn the most dollar by completing missions, finding it on the island, or liberating it from the bodies of your fallen foes. It's not like they need it anymore, is it? Going back to that update or release question, it's actually a similar situation with State of Decay 2 Juggernaut Edition. On one hand, this is a massively updated version of the open world zombie survivor map. On the other, probably about to fall off hand, there is so much new stuff here, it's basically a whole new game. There are 3 packs of add-on content to chew through, a ton of minor improvements, and even a brand new post-apocalyptic playground, Providence Ridge. Perfect whether you've played the original version to death or have never touched State of Decay before, and it's on Xbox Game Pass. Honestly, it's a no-brainer. Or for a different flavor of action, there's The Division 2 Warlords of New York, which takes your Tom Clancy-approved squad of elite agents from Washington and back to the setting of the first game, the Big Rotten Apple. The city that never dares to sleep, so dangerous they named it twice, New York, New York. The game might be called The Division, but this expansion is all about addition. New baddies to take out, fresh endgame challenges, and a higher level cap. To get to it, soldier. And finally, let's look back a little further than the past month. All the way back to March 2018, when a little game called Sea of Thieves first emerged into the world, blinking in the sunshine, which you can probably work out for yourself means this is the game's second birthday. And it threw one heck of a birthday bash with exclusive swag to bag, a new tall tale in the latest monthly update, and a special event that let you relive some of the best moments of the last 2 years. This is one party you're going to want to crash.
Defend your worlds. For the fate of reality, we need you to save us all.
Of course, no rundown of Xbox releases would be complete without mentioning Xbox Game Pass. There's been a load of games added to the library every month, and March was no exception. Plus, the brand new Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Perks, where you're rewarded with freebies just for being an Ultimate subscriber. Anyway, a lot of these games we've already mentioned, Halo, Ori, Bleeding Edge, State of Decay, and Sea of Thieves, they're all available on Xbox Game Pass, up to and including their latest updates. But that's not all, not by a long, long way. Dribbling its way into the service, NBA 2K20 is the definitive basketball experience on Xbox One. Make your mark on the court and bring a player from the early stages of their career all the way to the NBA championship in the fully revamped My Player mode. And for a taste of fancy fun, you can try out My Team. Collect players from the modern era all the way back to some notable Hall of Famers and deploy custom strategies and lineups to dominate foes online. There's considerable depth here, but plenty to keep newcomers satisfied as they hone their skills. And you might even need to take those newly learned techers into our next Xbox Game Pass title, Pikaniku. This is an absurd puzzle exploration game that takes you through a vibrant and exciting world. And as I mentioned before, you can even play a spot of basketball with a watermelon. But that only makes up a fraction of this wonderfully challenging title for all ages. And if you're struggling, you can even play in co-op across some custom levels and challenges. If you're wanting to up the ante even more, then we've got a punishing title to push you to your gaming limits. On March 19th, The Surge 2 dropped into Xbox Game Pass on both console and PC. And it's a double scoop serving of tough melee combat action with a sprinkling of deep RPG and customization. Set in a dystopian future where humans have drained the world of its resources, you'll be donning a mech suit and brawling the underworld's toughest enemies. If you spot a bit of gear you like the look of, you'll need to forcibly remove it from those baddies if you want to keep it. It's a really interesting take on looting mechanics that doubles up as a satisfying gruesome form of dismemberment. And if you've somehow still got some time left over, you could take a couple more of these new additions out for a spin, or in the case of Ace Combat 7, a test flight. Pilot the world's most notorious fighter jets in dazzling dogfights that feature some of the most photorealistic graphics the series has ever boasted. And for those of you who prefer their combat slightly more grounded, you can now don the colorful suits of the famed Japanese superheroes, the Power Rangers. Battle for the Grid is a team-based fighting game that takes you through all eras of the mightiest, morphiest heroes ever known. And yes, there are of course Megazords. And our last stop on this Game Pass tour de force is here. Please alight at Train Sim World 2020. This is a fully realized simulator that will satisfy your locomotive cravings like no other. With railway sets across multiple countries, you might even recognize some of the iconic stations that you'll be stopping at. And now for those free-to-claim games that are part of your Xbox Live Gold subscription. What were March's games with gold? Well, you might have grabbed Batman the Enemy Within, a continuation of the Telltale style of detective games. This fantastic look at the duality of the Dark Knight lets you take on Bruce Wayne's duties as well as Batman's. In the earlier half of the month, we experienced the continuation of Simon Belmont's adventures in Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. This is classic Castlevania fun with as much whip action and Satan slaying as you could hope for. Everybody's favorite blue hedgehog also made an appearance, as Sonic Generations was available from the 16th to the 31st of March, featuring a time-bendingly crazy story that spanned across the various eras of Sonic the Hedgehog games. Collecting those gold rings never felt so good. And if you're watching this video before the 16th of April, you'll be glad to hear that you can actually still grab March's final Games of Gold edition, as Shantae Half Genie Hero is still available until that date. Games, 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 so many games, but what about the stuff you actually play them on, that all-important hardware? Well, March brought two new special edition wireless controllers. Arctic Camo puts a new spin on the classic winter camo design. Using frosted transparent resin in the camo pattern, you'll have to wait till May for this one, but the other controller is available right now, which is a bit of a surprise given it looks like it's come from the future. The Phantom Magenta is inspired by sci-fi aesthetics, decorated in an eye-catching magenta, not pink, not purple, magenta. That fades beautifully into a translucent shell to give you a glimpse of the inner workings. If you're thinking of buying one of these special edition controllers, something that's worth remembering is that they'll both work with the Xbox Series X when that arrives later this year. That's just one of the tantalizing details we learned about the Xbox Series X console this month, thanks to some in-depth breakdowns of the hardware powering the next generation. It's impressive stuff, boasting 12 teraflops of GPU power, a speedy SSD, and the very latest in hardware accelerated ray tracing. If that's all Greek to you, you should check out the Xbox Series X videos where we talk you through what it all means and how it's going to improve your gaming experience. But there we have it. Thanks for watching our roundup of all the best Xbox news in March. We'll be back soon with everything you have to look forward to in April. Plus, there'll be even more videos coming breaking down every single aspect of the Xbox Series X. So make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. And just in case you missed any of our Mixer shenanigans this month, here's just a taste of what we got up to over on mixer.com/Xbox Song. See you next time. Bye.
Come on. Yes! Let's go!
Oh, he's dead. Oh. He must have been in the gas. Hey. Let's go!
Yeah!
Let's go! Yeah! Woo!
Let's go! Hold on, wait. Let's
go!
So just over there are the two teams that will be competing today for the Bleeding Edge Rumble medal.
Okay, he's on the run, Benny. We've got him. Set me on fire, Benny!
Oh! I didn't mean to do that!
I've accidentally got him in my car. This is my favorite.
El Bastardo.
Oh, I think that gets a point.
That doesn't get you a point!
It does.
Oh, wait.
a joke.
No, hold
We
on,
made
hold
the
on.
rules.
As if! It's Put me on fire? I'm gonna die. Right, eat the banana, eat the banana, eat the banana, eat the banana.
What happened? Everyone do it. Deep breaths.
You knocked my entire car off!
That's it.
Oh, let's go!
Big victory. Let's go.
Woo!
Told you the breathing works.
Yeah! There we go, I kill.
Oh!
Right, which way we going back?
Both the MVPs are now going to be playing in round 4 with our special MVP glasses. Whoa! Hey!
It's so bad I can't even hear you.
What position are you in, Bex?
Wait, I don't think I'm supposed to be on this. No. Oh.
Bex, what position are you in?
Is there a Ratatouille 2?
No, I've never seen Rata 1-y. Bex. Let me explain. It's going to be like a little diving board for the baby. So after it's changed, it can just jump right into bed. Bex.
What? Sorry, what?
What position are you in?
I just want it. I just want a sub 18. Sub 18 and I'm done.
No, you're right. This was a map. No. Absolutely. I've done that.
Oh, no, I didn't jump! No, I didn't jump! Ah!
How am I getting cooked by spiky balls?
Unacceptable.
Oh yes, we're miles ahead of the pack. We're ahead, and I drown!
I'd like to see a farming simulator, BR, and you could call it Cattle Royale.
Succeeded, Bex.
It's easy to fall out of practice and get fat and lazy during summer vacation. This game just speaks facts.
Did someone call for a quantity surveyor?
Quantity survey.
Where are you going? We've made a space for you. This space right here?
Right behind your buggy.
Goodbye. Chat, we have got our winner for the second collector's edition, and congratulations to Northern Lass.
Doom Slayer helmets. Congrats again to Walder Team for winning that.
Yeah, get in the grinder! Oh, no!
Not that. Oh no!
This is Grand Theft Auto! Right, we're getting out of it.
One giveaway has started for 1 month Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Type exclamation mark bags to join.
It's still there, they're fighting.
Down 1.
Yeah, it is.
Down 2. Down 3.
No, I want to give my horse. That's violent.
Everybody get excited! Grim Reaper! Well done, Grim Reaper!
Down 1. Nice shot, nice shot. I can't, I'm reloading! That's it, she's done. Yes! Nice. Oh god, oh god, oh god! No, I'm gone, I'm down. So many RPGs. Yes, one more gulag, get up! Nice. Get up out of here!
We died because we were high-fiving each other. Do we have to do that whole boss fight again?
Okay.
Got him! We might not have, no, I bet we do.
Oh, my side is so low. There it is. Boom! Yes, give us your sounds.
Yeah!
Yes!
Yes!
But stay away!
Right, no one celebrate!
Finally!
I hope you've enjoyed the stream. It's been an absolute blast. Do follow if you're new, and we will see you tomorrow